bad.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cosmic Calamities, where we talk about awful things. After having a positive review, of course we have to go back to the swing of things and talk about awful books and events. And I'm going to count this entire ASM run as an awful event because, boy, was this bad.
We're just gonna count the whole run as a calamity. It was calamitous. It was a disaster.
It really is. It's just, man,
So, first, let's just talk about how 26 went down.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about how 26 went down, because I feel like we should treat it as its own body, because it felt like a whole new moment for Miss Marvel. Like, they tried opening the book with Miss Marvel to like try and build her up, like all that shit, right? But you can't build up a character in one issue and then kill them off in the same issue and try to make it impactful and meaningful.
Exactly.
Lukas said that they included Miss Marvel in all of 12 pages of the ASM run. Counted. And
literally 12 pages.
They try and, shoehorn her into this adventure. Even she feels out of place. Like, she openly says that she feels like out of place, like in the fucking event in the book, and it shows. That's all.
Yeah, she acts completely out of character. There's multiple things that don't make sense. Her asking Peter, "Did I do good?" is so fucking rude to the creators and the people that character represents for. It's just incredibly insulting that they made this character on their deathbed seek validation from this white guy that has barely interacted with her.
I mean, it was just more of a thing of like, I think they're treating her like a kid now because of the show. They're like, haha, Miss Marvel, silly kid. She gonna be a little silly kid, not know what she's doing, and run around and shapeshift and shit. And it's like, come on.
It's just so annoying because she is one of those characters that means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if she didn't, she wouldn't have like 10 printings of her first issue. Like,
yeah,
she's insanely popular. And
so, yeah.
I just think it's so rude to do that. And then on top of that, twist her words of good isn't who you are, it's what you do. Like, twisting her words as her dying words just felt incredibly disingenuous. On top of that, they shape changed her, which is, yes, that is a power. That is legitimately a power. But anyone who reads Kamala Khan knows that she is traumatized by that power. That's why she doesn't use it. Like, she was extremely traumatized by the Terrigenesis, and she associates that power with an awful moment with her life. She doesn't use it because it always feels uncomfortable for her. She always feels really, really awful whenever she does it. And for her to just casually use it is actually just really insulting because it tells me that you have not read her previous books.
Right.
You just looked at a wiki and was like, okay, she has shape-changing powers. I'll use that.
So, the book opens with Kamala in an interview at Oscorp. She has left New Jersey, who knows why, to watch over Norman Osborn. All of a sudden, Norman is a concern of hers.
Yeah, like, what?
And she insists on working at Oscorp, and the guy's like, okay, but, you're going to have to keep up with Norman. And she's like, all right, I'll do it. And then we have...
Which doesn't make any sense because she wasn't Norman's assistant or anything. She was just a random scientist.
Yeah, who was just kind of spying on him.
So why are they acting like she was an assistant to Norman? Like, no. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
We literally met Norman's assistants.
I mean, I can count who was characterized well on none of my hands because none of the characters in this entire story were characterized properly. Peter Dialogue was
I think maybe
trash.
Reed. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty
Literally
much it.
Reed. One.
There you go.
That is the only one I can give because he actually solves the problem and
Yep.
it's very in character, and that's it. Other than
Yep.
that, yeah, nothing. And
Right.
he's also the one that tells Peter like, "We're just here to help you." like,
Yeah.
like he's the one that
Exactly.
calls Peter on being a jackass, which is because of the shit writing.
Yeah. So that felt like an actual FF moment when Reed, figured out how to shut down the glyph creature. But yeah, again, like this entire event, and we've said this time and again, is just Zeb Wells trying to get us to care about a villain that he created for Spidey, hundreds of issues ago, and try and make him, a legitimate threat. Something that really bothered me was that Raven was unable to distinguish MJ from Kamala. That was a really silly sequence where they're like split up. And yes, he'll have no way of telling the difference between the real MJ or Kamala. With all of his grand powers, you would think he could, figure out on a molecular
Wait,
level who was who.
wait. So I just came to the realization. He attacked Peter with the sword, correct? Remember, he was trying to kill Peter with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
If he had killed Peter with the sword, wouldn't that mean that like the gods would have been like, "No, this isn't the sacrifice, therefore you die."
That's what I'm saying. If you stab the wrong
It made
person,
no sense.
it would have resulted in that anyway. But the fact that he killed Miss Marvel with it fried him.
It just, oh my god, and the fact that like it's a character that I don't give a shit about. Like there is maybe I could have given a shit about if this character legitimately was built up, like legitimately built up, and uh and we didn't have that like weird disconnect from the last run and this run. If there was Mary Jane and Peter were still together, but we didn't know about that period of time. Let's say like they were distant, but let's say like no Paul, no kids, and then we went on, and then eventually we learn about this, and we keep on learning about it. But instead of it like jumping from like, oh, we learn about this and now he's in modern day, it's we learn about this and then he appears in modern day, but like Peter and them don't know, and he just keeps running his machinations in the background, like almost like a I'm forgetting his name from the Spencer run, Kindred.
Okay.
Like it could have you could have easily made this character something, you could have,
Right.
but you didn't because you wanted to rush things and you wanted to make sure that Peter and MJ were as far apart. So you gave her kids and you gave her a husband and you did all this stuff just to be like fuck you to Nick Spencer, which is what I hate the most. If whatever you feel like when a writer comes onto a run, yes, they have a new take, but you have to at least somewhat respect the previous run. You have to show some respect. And to show so little as this to legitimately basically spit in the face of Nick Spencer, who had done all this just to build up to this one point of MJ and Peter are now together. And here you go. This is the new status quo. Do whatever you
Yep.
want with this. To just immediately be like, no, this is boring. No, is incredibly insulting.
It's lazy. It's boring. It's stupid. And, you know, just introducing these characters to then take them away. Like the the kids just getting erased.
I don't know their
Um,
names. I can you honestly tell me their names?
I mean, I can't, but I wasn't invested in the first place. I'm sure someone else could.
I literally can't tell you the names. The only thing I know about them is Scribble Man. That's like
Yeah,
the only defining feature to me is Scribble Man.
right. But so now there's no kids. Now she's still with Paul, who is the main Raven's son, apparently. And where are we left now?
Left with nothing but Miss Marvel killed and nothing done with her death that's legitimately unique in any way, shape, or form. Um, Me and Elias have talked about this. It doesn't matter that a comic book character dies. That's fine. It's par for the course. It makes sense. It's a comic book character. Like these guys die and then come back every freaking like 5 months. That doesn't matter. It's the act of killing them that should. It should be for something meaningful, or it should represent something about that character. Her dying to this? Really? This? That's just so, it's insane. And this was something I wanted to talk to you about yesterday, Eliza, actually.
Okay.
G. Willow Wilson's writing the Fallen Friend thing.
Really?
And that's insane because that's the creator of Miss Marvel. So
Yeah.
I don't know if she definitely didn't. I don't see any world where she was like, yeah, this is good, or she saw how they treated Kamala and was like, yeah, this is good. I'm pretty sure they were probably like, you can write this, or we could just have Zeb write this. And she was like, please, no. Like, let me, I will literally, she's like trying to do damage control for her own character.
Yeah, hopefully that's what she's doing, and she like is able to fix something with it, because obviously they'll bring her back, but we don't know what. One of the best examples of Marvel deaths, I think, in comics that I've enjoyed is the Wolverine death. It was built up over issues and months, and it was really impactful when it happened. That final moment was when he's encased in adamantium, is a poetic death for him. It's super dramatic, super impactful, and it's, it's heartbreaking. Like, it's genuinely.
I cried. I read that and I cried at the end. I was like, wow, this is a fitting end.
Exactly.
To Logan.
And then they didn't bring him back for years. There was plenty time without him. Yeah. And then when they did bring him back, it was for a logical reason. Orcus wanted his body. They wanted to experiment on him. Obviously, Wolverine's body is a valuable resource, and the whole thing is, he's a tortured guy, so even when he's dead, he's not allowed to rest.
Yeah.
So that's a great example of an impactful death, a thing where they don't bring them back right away. Just everything, I think, handled very well and properly. And then this right here is an example of how not to do it. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
just not built up,
insane.
Anything like that. Oh, and one other thing.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, one more thing. Hold on to that thought. Is the lack of editorial effort and care. When you look at the current Iron Man run, it directly addresses multiple times and respects the previous run.
Yeah.
And apparently this is like the hardest thing to ever fucking do in the universe. Because this is just, the mess that we're looking at now. But Go ahead.
No, I completely agree. Like, Iron Man felt like a seamless continuation. Like, yes, new writer and new adventures, but I didn't feel that schism that this felt like. Even going from Beyond to this, I felt like really weird.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish we had Beyond instead, which is I never thought I'd say that. I legitimately never thought I'd say that I wanted to read more stories like Beyond.
Give me Ben time. If you're not going to be able to do Peter right, just fuck with Ben or something. Like just you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Just like commit to it.
Like give Peter some time on the sidelines. He deserves it, He's having the shit beaten out of him every 5 minutes. Like, that's fine. But I think move into this is just terrible.
Yeah. And also, another thing that I really want to point out is we know this is not going to last. The movie's coming out in November. They're going to have to bring her back before then because they're going for synergy. And what they're going to do, obviously, this is very, very easily able to be predicted. They're bringing her back as a mutant. That's it. They're doing that. They might change her powers, which is even more fucking annoying because her powers are part of her. If they're just like, nope, light powers now. It's like, no, that destroys the entire point of her character, which is she has the ability to change into anyone, but she is most comfortable in her skin. She's a woman of color that is proud of being a woman of color. But yeah, it's the fallen friend. Everything about this situation is just so frustrating because she died with no one that actually knows her. Where's Miles? Where's Nova? Where's any of the champions? Where's Cyclops? You could have brought fucking, like, you know how easy it would have been to bring the X-Men in? Oh wait, they're stationed in fucking New York. They're literally in fucking New York. They have a giant ass fucking tree. And you're telling me that they can't just come down and Cyclops can't see Kamala's death and cry because he got fucking time displaced and we cared about him for a while.
Last event was Dark Web. Last event was Dark Web. Literally had the X-Men in it, but okay.
Yeah, like that is the time to bring the X-Men. That is the time. If you're gonna kill off Kamala, at least that'll give a reason for Cyclops to be there. And then there you go, one person that actually knows Kamala. Like, give me something. Like Miles, just being there. Like literally, there's just so many characters that Venom. You could have gone with Venom.
It's
literally
a Spider-Man
everyone from Dark
event.
Web.
Like,
Everyone from Dark Web.
Yeah. But
literally
it's Spider-Man
anyone from
event. I don't know. Miles was the easiest one to do. Like, it's a Spider-Man event. There's something going on in the city. Raven's fucking shit up, destroying the city. Miles is right there. Like, I don't know.
Like, you know, you can't fucking throw a rock in New York City without hitting a fucking hero. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that hard. But then you choose the one hero that has, like, no ties to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to say that she was a side character in this run is a fucking gross over exaggeration. Because, I'm sorry, but 12 pages? No. In a 25 issue run? No. She's not a character. She's a glorified cameo. That's it.
Yeah.
And not even a good one because John Romita Jr.'s art sucks ass to the point where you can't even tell which characters are which sometimes. I'm letting it all out. I'm pissed, bro.
No, let it all out now, because after this, I don't even want to think about this shit anymore.
So,
I was
can
sorry.
we just talk about the deterioration of John Romita Jr.'s art?
Yeah.
Did someone break this man's hands? Did he have to? Did he have to Stephen Strange himself? Like teach himself how to write and draw again? Like, what the fuck are these?
I don't know,
like,
man. There's some really questionable panels in this entire run. There's some really questionable panels. I liked him on Tombstone.
Yeah, like that's fine.
But
like,
that's because that's a literal rock guy, like, you know, blocky and shit. But you don't put blocks as people's chins on fucking Kamala. Like, don't do that shit. You know.
It's just every character is just drawn the same, and it's infuriating. Like, it is literally like they might as well just. I shit you not. I could probably AI generate better art from them scanning John Romita Jr.'s art. Like just like if I taught an AI machine only John Romita Jr.'s art, they could probably come up with a better issue. Like, because it's just I don't know what happened, man. Like I've never been that crazy of a fan. You have you like his art, but man, the dip in quality, especially in the past, ever since I want to say Action Comics, when he hopped on Action Comics, like since then, it's just his art has just gotten worse every time.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I think it's come to the point where people just they see the name and they, you know, he's a legend, right? He's a legendary artist. His name, you know, means like that it's going to be a big story. You know what I mean? But the quality has been dipping. And yes, I was a fan. I really liked his Eternals run. I thought that he did really well on that. But it definitely is deteriorating, and you know, maybe it's because it's a monthly book. It's twice a month really. So you know, there were very few issues that didn't have him on, you know, for ASM. But most of them were him. So I don't know, man. But it's rough.
Let me also say, please don't send Zeb Wells fucking death threats. don't do that shit.
Yeah.
It is fine to voice your opinions and disagreements with it, like we are. Don't do anything drastic, please. Like, legitimately, like, don't do that. That's not cool. It's not funny. It's not fun. Don't do that. These are still people. Just because we have a disagreement about the way they're treating some characters doesn't mean that anyone should actually be injured or threatened or anything like that. Just wanted
Yeah,
to say that.
true. Um, but definitely.
Editorial, you were gonna say? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, definitely keep, uh, you know, giving it bad ratings on websites and shit, so that Marvel sees that and at least moves him off of the book or something. Because
Stop
right,
reading the book. That's
yeah.
that's the only thing I can say.
So yeah, we're happy to report that collectors of the entire ASM series, like people who are trying to collect the entire thing in physical, have sworn off this book after picking up this issue.
Yeah.
So hopefully everyone else does the same. And yeah, don't support this book. It's bad. A lot of people love Spider-Man, and to waste the character and not treat them well is a waste of everyone's time and money.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I was just gonna say editorial. This is the same editorial since One More Day. And Marvel, you need to change the editorial team. I we get it. These guys have been doing it for a while, but that's exactly why you need to change them. They are legitimately outdated. They think that killing off a person of color, a woman of color, just for shock value, just to uplift this white man, um, is fair. And no, it's not. And I don't care if people say, "Oh, stop it with the woke shit" or whatever. Like, no, this is legitimately what's happening. They are killing a woman of color for shock value. They are fridging her, and they were doing that for nothing more than some synergy and to give Peter motivation. Which, if you wanted to do that, you could have done that with so many other characters. You did not need to use Kamala.
Let's talk about the cover real quick. Let's pull up the cover. Let's talk about the people who one of them's gonna fall. Let's talk about this real quick because I think
Yeah.
this is really funny. So okay, first off, right, we're going,
Also, this
left
is a
to right,
1.8 in fucking league. That's
yeah,
insane.
left to right, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Let me give it a 0 star real quick because
Yeah.
Lukas said I could subtract.
Just give it a half and then subtract one, and that's how it registers as 0 stars.
All right, let's see here.
It's
Half
crazy.
minus. All right. And then let's go left to right, top to bottom. We got MJ, right? Everyone's prime suspicion. Okay, fine. We got Paul. Okay, fine. Got Norman. These three characters are actually in the story right now.
Yeah,
Right?
Norman would have at least been a decent death.
Sure. I wouldn't be totally adverse to that if the villain wasn't shit. Jay Jonah. When was the last time Jay Jonah showed up in this book?
Literally during the Dark Web event. That was it.
Okay.
It was barely. Aunt May.
Aunt May.
Barely in this
We know
run.
her old ass is never gonna die.
Yeah, seriously, bro. Like,
All right,
there's
hiding
two
Miss
things.
Marvel
Uncle
right
Ben
there.
will always die, and Aunt May will never die. That is
Right.
guaranteed in this universe.
Yeah. Okay, then we got Miss Marvel. I guess they tried to hide her early so that we wouldn't think much of it. Whatever. Black Cat. Okay, showed up in the run, but don't really see how she's relevant to this story.
Yeah.
Okay, Cap,
Cap.
Human Torch, they both showed up, but okay, you're not gonna kill Cap.
You're not gonna kill Cap
in
in
a
the
Spider-Man book.
Spider-Man book. Yeah.
Okay, great.
You're not killing Johnny either.
Yeah. What's his name? Robbie.
Yeah.
An actual old character, like maybe.
But nothing with the story.
But has not showed up recently at all. Since the
He has not showed up
Tombstone.
since the first arc.
Yeah, first is the first arc. Then I think it's his son, and then I think it's the girlfriend of his son, Beetle.
Yeah.
So now we're just throwing it to first arc completely. We got Tombstone, White Rabbit, and I don't even know who the last guy
Her
is.
henchman guy that
That's
his
it?
name was like,
It's just a fucking henchman. Okay.
yeah, it's the guy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So anyway, there you go. Characters who have nothing to do with this story. why are they gonna die in this? I don't know. But yeah, I thought the cover was pretty silly.
Yeah, my disappointment is immeasurable. It's just sad. This is everything I hate about the comics industry. Distilled into one thing.
Yeah.
A shit ton of variants that legitimately serve no purpose other than to make people waste money. Books that are being used for shock value, killing off characters for shock value, treating white characters like they're supremely higher than any person of color. This is everything I hate about comics. Distilled in one issue.
Me manually creating a key issue. Me manually engineering a key.
Basically, like, I really hope, and this is the thing that also pisses me off, Zeb Wells taking happiness in this, and the fact that he did this. Zeb, I know you probably don't watch our thing, but I hope someone clips this. What are you doing, man? Like, why are you messing with characters that legitimately have so many fans? You're killing off characters that are role models to women and children everywhere. And you're doing it to just bolster sales for your shitty ass Spider-Man run? Like, your first arc was fine. That was fine. But what are you doing, man? Why are you impacting other characters that didn't need to do this? You have severely underestimated how this is going to impact your writing career. And I think this is going to show soon. I don't think Zeb Wells is going to be able to recover writing wise from this.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So
anyway, that's it for me.
All we hope here is that people stop picking up the book, stop supporting it, and we will continue to, push that agenda. And yeah, that's all. The most calamitous calamity of all.
Yep.
Don't forget.
Calamity was the friends we made along the way.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, lack thereof.
As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, support your local comic shop, and read comics.
See you.